Hello. It's party time. Hello, everybody. And thank you for coming. If you're here on the replay, I want to thank you. I want to thank those of you in the bushes, the moderators, my technical assistant director, Dolores Unbiased, LLC. Girlfriend, did you get your fishing clothes off yet? I was watching you earlier. I binge watch things on Saturdays or before the show. Donzel Cooper, my grandson, my new grandson. Thank you for coming and welcome. Let me start at the top. Mike's Chaotic Gardening. Thank you for coming. Sissy Joanne Stevens says hello to everybody in the live. Hola, hermana. Yankee Sister Olmsted. Oh my gosh. Yankee Sister, did you just get that crazy thunderstorm? It was raining here. I was wondering, you guys, if I was even going to be able to go on live. So speaking of like family things or background, when it used to lighten and thunder, my grandmothers used to make us turn off the lights, be quiet, be still, and unplug different things. I do know that one thing they used to say, don't talk on the phone. You know, the phones that plug into the wall. I'll tell you a personal little story. I used to have several vintage sewing machines, but I was once sewing on a vintage sewing machine and it started lightning and thundering. And guess what? I could feel a little tingle in the sewing machine. So I just don't do that anymore. Hello, GT Jr. grows in Alaska. Yankee Sister says it's still thundering and lightning. It might be out there, but not very loud. Come here, Hershey. I don't know why he went over there. Come here. Like he's hot. He's not hot. Come here. Auntie wants to see him. I want to show you guys. Come up. So he got a haircut yesterday. And some of you who are new don't know that he's blind. He's 11 years old. He's my service companion. And when I couldn't see, when I was legally blind, he would bark, let me know when things were in places I couldn't see him. I even had, the white cane. I still have the long white cane, that blind people use to feel things. But what that white cane is good for, the long one, you can feel things out. Like even if you can see a little bit, you can't tell if there's like a little trip curb or just a little things. I have fallen some heavy falls. So Hershey got a haircut and he's not hot. So I don't know why he's over there. Auntie Joanne says, hello, Mr. Hershey. Maria Graham says he looks cute. So I will put you down, sir, and you can go over there like, I don't know, he's so extra. So if you're new, I thank you for coming. My name is Ellen Pankey, and what this channel is about is what GQUAT stands for. It's we do gardening, cooking from scratch, all kinds of arts and crafts, home arts, like the old types of things, knitting, crocheting, needlepoint, macrame, all of the traditional arts and crafts. In addition, we do fine arts. Auntie Joanne Stevens is my biological sister. She's a glass artist. So let me see if I can pull you guys up and see what you're saying in the chat, because why the chat is always different from what I'm seeing on the screen. And then when I watch the replay, it says blah, blah, blah. And you guys, or something will be on the screen, and I'm talking about A to Z, but you guys are seeing something different. Something different. So I hope all of you are having a good day. Joanne Stevens says he's not extra. When we go to Arizona, I generally stay for at least a month at a time. And Mr. Hershey, of course, goes with me. He's sitting over there. I have a small rotating fan, although I have it going straight right now. And he's sitting there. I can see the hair on his ears blowing. Hi, Nancy, our treasured home. Thank you for coming and welcome. Yes, I'm sweating. I run around like a crazy woman when I'm getting ready to start. And I brush my teeth. I put my lips on. I saw Gina last night. She looked like a movie star. Her hair was all did. And mine, I just before we started, I just saw pieces of it sticking up, I guess from bending down. I'm out of bottled water, so I used my filter and this thingy. Cheers. What does it say? Oh, I forgot who gave me this cup, but it says, "You are beautiful, victorious, enough." You know, that's one thing that we all have to remember, that you are enough. Yankee Sister said it was extremely hot today. Yeah, you guys all over the hot world, you sent the heat to Connecticut, and I have not even harvested any tomatoes yet. They won't ripen over 85 degrees. It was 101 here in my town today. Everybody's speaking. And this is what else I are on this cup. Mother, hello. See you tomorrow, Mom. I'll be there when you wake up in the morning. I am capable, never alone, always loved. And it has all these Bible verses that say each thing. You were created, Genesis 1st chapter, 31st verse. Amazing, chosen. Cheers. Cheers, you guys. Let me see if I can remember who gave me this cup. I didn't buy it. I never buy these cups. So, of course, I pour it down my chest. Never, never a dull moment. So, everybody's saying hello, Mother Pankey, Maria Graham, Mike's Chaotic Gardening, our treasured home said, "Oh, he's a dear, adorable." Okay, Denzel Cooper, let me go up and see what your comment was. That's why I need to. Oh, I'm not blind anymore. Thank you, Donzel. I can see out of one eye, and I have 20/20 vision. I wear glasses for protection and for reading, and I don't need them like for driving or anything like that for a distance. Happy Mac. Hey, neighbor. Thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if I said hello to Dolores. Dolores is in the chat, and thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. But yeah, Mike, I was legally blind. And when you're legally blind, it doesn't mean that well, at one time I was totally blind, and then I could see a little bit. And my sister Joanne Stevens took off, left home, came to where I was for about a month, whether I was in intensive care, North Carolina, whether I came to New York at my daughter's house, my mother's house. Auntie Joanne was there, and she put the drops in my eyes 4 times a day. I don't know why now I couldn't put them in myself, but I guess if you're totally blind, you can't see where to put them. But they gave me enough drops that I could get some in and some run down my face. I have glaucoma now, so at night I have to put drops in. And I use way more of the medicine that I should, but I get the job done. So Dolores will say, hey, GQUAT Garden Quilt and Art Show, love, love, love. So are you guys harvesting like crazy or what? I see 15 people in the chat and 12 thumbs up. Checking to see if I gave myself a little thumbs uppy. I, I, when you get to be 3/4 of a century, and no, I don't color my hair, I don't do any of those things. I'm just blessed, but I'm getting silver. You can see my silver crown coming up over here, and every day is not a great day in the way that you feel, but every day is a great day when you wake up and your eyes open and you can see the sun and the earth. That's a good day. It's a good day. Daddy used to say, you know what choice B was? Yeah, choice B, you wouldn't be here. Happy Max says, Auntie Joanne, have a great day. So I was doing something with my computer for a while. Remember my earplugs? And I had to put them in to hear like Dolores or people. I had turned this fancy computer down somehow and I couldn't hear. Yankee's sister, I'm going over her house. I know where she lives. Peppers, string beans, green tomatoes trickling in. Did you make fried green tomatoes? Those of you who are resistant to change, I'll put it that way. If you don't use an air fryer, you need to use one. I saw Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, using hers, and she was saying that she just recently started using hers. She had one, but she didn't use it. I started using mine during the shutdown. And how did I get mine? The way I get most things that are new and modern. My family buys them for me and gives them to me. A funny thing, maintenance came to check the sprinklers. I live in a senior handicapped apartment now, and the maintenance man was putting up stickers and it says not to put anything within 18 inches of the sprinkler heads. So there's one sprinkler head in a closet over here that I don't use a lot because I don't iron a lot, but when I iron, that's where the ironing board is, and I keep it up all the time because when I'm doing my creations, I like my things to be pressed. Why? Because that's just me. I'm OCD-ish, and if you remember looking at the tailors in Italy and whatnot, the suits that the men had, the fancy suits in England, Savile Row, where they made all the fancy men's clothes, the tailoring was impeccable. Why? Because it was always pressed. So Happy Max said she had to check to see if it was really Saturday. No fried green tomatoes, waiting for them to ripen. Okay, don't let them ripen all the way. And you know what? At the end of the season, we are always going to have green tomatoes. My grandmother used to make chow chow at the end of the season with the green tomatoes. That's when I make chow chow. I make really, really good chow chow. I will have to make some this year. I probably won't have enough tomatoes, green tomatoes. I use green tomatoes in mine, but there's a farmer's market nearby, and I will have lots of black cherry tomatoes. Why? Because Yankee's sister started the seeds and brought them to her sister. Yankee's sister lives about 15 miles north of me as the eagle flies, and she's good to me. I had surgery early this year and I didn't get to plant a lot of things. And today, I was telling you about the maintenance man. So he was in his closet and he took down some, the plastic shoe boxes with shoes in them. And he said, Miss Ellen, These are new. I'm like, yes, I know. And they were expensive shoes. They were expensive shoes, and they still had the label on them. And I said, you know what? This is ridiculous. I've been here for 6 years, and I have not worn them once. I might get my little dance on, my little salsa. I don't need to do it in heels. I don't need to trip and fall. They're expensive. Those bespoke suits. Oh, the suits and whatnot, the tailoring. Yes, reading everybody's comments. So I had him hand me down about 6 to 8 boxes of shoes. I looked at them, and those with heels that were like more than 2 inches high, I just put them in my little cart. And I always give away food on Saturdays on the community table downstairs. And I forgot the shoes. I went back down there and put them on the table. But it's interesting. I put the food, it's already prepared, they're frozen dinners, and I put the ice pack in there. Well, people must watch on the monitor. We have security systems in the building to get buzzed in, cameras all over the place, the laundry room, everything. It's really secure here. And people must watch me when I take Hershey out at 8:30 every morning, Mr. Hershey. And if you don't call him Mr. Hershey, they can't find his records. So I went back down there, and there was a couple, a husband and wife, and they had some packages in their hand. And I just turned around on the elevator, went straight back down, and the box, like 3 or 4, maybe 6 dinners have been taken out. So I figured that they had been down there to get them. And sometimes I bump into people on the elevator when I come back in, coming to get the food. So there are people who need food, you guys. And if you have any extra, share with your neighbors, like Yankee Sister does. Not because I'm hungry, just because I like it. Yankee Sister tried her first raw okra. Some of my family calls it okra, and from her garden, totally disgusting. Well, some people like it, and they say it's good for you. The okra water, they say, is good. I have so much to talk to you guys about. So much to talk to you guys about. So I guess Hershey's going to enjoy the fan over there. You guys don't mind if I have some more water. I'm having issues with with my thyroid, and I've been sweating like golf balls, golf balls. So because of that, I know that I need to drink extra more water. I always drink 64 ounces a day, which is 8 glasses. But now I'm drinking more because my tongue actually feels thirsty. And they say if you feel thirsty, that you're actually dehydrated. Yankee Sister sent that thunder and stuff over here. It got so dark outside. You know what I like about this cup? Not only is it pretty, but it's dark around the side, and you can't see when I have lipstick on. I hate when I'm drinking things and I have on my dark lipstick and you see that red print. Sissy, Joanne Stevens, do you remember that time when I used to have that red metal cup, coffee cup that I loved drinking my coffee in the morning? My Cafe Bustelo, I used to brew it every morning. And then we had a visitor that came and brought company with them. And when they left, my red cup left. I don't know if you remember that, Sissy. Yankee Sister said, no thanks. She'll find another way to get good things into you. All that food you have planted, you will. I haven't really harvested much because I actually did. Oh my gosh. That was a big lightning out there, you guys. But it wasn't close because there it is. Boom. When it lightens, you can count how far it is by saying 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and the increments, that's how many miles away the lightning is. given or taken. You're sweltering in Maine, Teresa Bailey? Oh my goodness. Hope the lobsters aren't cooking. Darth X heard it. Darth X, you have some good ears. You hear my alarm on my backup smoke detector. You're better than Mr. Hershey. He hears things. I went to my ear, nose, and throat doctor last week. I have all these experts keeping this expert engine in order. I think I'm doing great. I don't know many 76-year-old YouTubers who actually do their own programming. Not all of it, because Dolores helps me a lot. Other people help me. And then you know what? I help others. I try to be a blessing to others starting their channels. Not everything. I can't see small print. I actually have difficulty like with period, exclamation mark, small things, unless I put like huge magnifying glasses. I have new reading glasses, and every year I get new glasses. Every year I hate them. My optician says, "You always say that, Miss Pankey." I always do. And then the last year, then I really don't like glasses. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I'm going to have to take these over there because I just noticed something. That little thing that goes on your nose. That's what I saw before. I saw something on the floor and it was small and plastic. I picked it up. I didn't know what it was. I put it on my sewing machine, and it was that little thingy that protects your nose on these kind of glasses. But I hate these kind. They cost a fortune, but they're lightweight. So, you guys, I want to thank each of you from all over the country, all over the world, for coming, because you could be anywhere, but you chose to spend this Saturday with Auntie Ellen. Your cushion is off your glasses. That hurts. Well, my glasses are adjusted so that they're actually not on my nose, but I'll get some more over there. I have a box of dollar store glasses, but you know what? My favorite ones, I broke the strap off. I'll tell you something, and it's your personal choice. Hey, Janet, almost homesteading with Janet. Thank you for coming. I Everybody opinions are like everything else. People wipe some with toilet paper, but your opinion is yours, and your health is your decision. But because I have respiratory problems and I've had other things, I do wear a mask. I still have to wear a mask with my respiratory problems. And when I put my mask on with my glasses, I rip my glasses off. I used to I lost so many pairs of earrings, so many good earrings. I'm looking, you guys, it's dark, dark, dark. I want to sew something, but I don't want to touch the electricity while it's thundering and lightning. And those of you who sew or use different gadgets, crickets, other things, plug them into a surge protector before you plug them into the wall. I never plug my sewing machines into the wall. Some are good machines. When I say good machines, some of them cost a fortune of my retirement money. I don't buy things like that anymore. Some are not expensive, but whatever you paid for, whatever is yours, you want to take care of it. I also have backup prepping things like mixers and everything. I have the old ones that I have some that actually feel like I'm looking outside because you guys, it looks spooky. Looks like the boogeyman is out there. But I will keep going. I want to show you guys some of the things because I have a mail haul. But before I tell you this, a lot of people look down on some stores to buy fabric or whatever. I buy whatever I want, where I want. And I wanted to show you this because I looked at the receipt online. Mike says, be safe, Auntie. I will. You guys will remind me. But I bought this fabric. It's by a guy named Robert Kaufman, Kaufman, and I bought 4 yards of it. It's 108 inches wide, which means it's 3 feet wide, so that it's almost wide enough. I think the denim quilt that I'm making for my mother, I'm going to make it 120 inches wide across her king size bed, but her bed is up high. So I like my quilts to hang down. Those of you who make quilts or buy quilts, even if you have a queen size bed, make or buy a king size quilt. I have the different dimensions over there, but Auntie Joanne has a king size bed that's up high in the air. I make her quilts 120 inches, but the tops you usually fold down so you don't need them and you have a lot of pillows. Auntie Joanne collects pillows. She collects pillows. I just saw the FaceTime light come on this computer. That's interesting. I've had some weird things happen. Thank you, Dolores. She says I have a video loaded. I want to show you guys something because, well, wait, let me tell you this first. This fabric was originally like $23 a yard. I bought 4 yards of it, but with a coupon and 25% off at Joann's. And this is a really good quality fabric. I can use it like with my as a backing for any of my quilts, my boutiques, my African fabrics. But I bought this to go with the denim quilt that I'm making for my mother. I bought it for only $8.79 a yard with all my coupons. Auntie Joanne knows how to hook them coupons up and get good deals. When I go out there, I get prices that I don't get anywhere. So this, with my winnings, I told you that I got on a lottery ticket gifted to me by a long time family friend. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. So I sent her a package. I bought this fabric for my mother's quilt. I accidentally bought this fabric, but I was buying it for a backing or something. I have a lot of quilt tops that are started that need to be finished. This I can tell by looking at it is 42 to 44 inches wide, so I will have to piece it, and it's only about 2 yards. I'm annoyed, but I always need it, and I can tell by feeling it. It's not the same quality. I'll see if I can hold it up to the screen so I can show you guys the differences in fabrics. Can you see? This is a good fabric, and it's grainy. It's copyrighted fabric called Brush Strokes. It's 100% cotton. It's numbered, but you see how grainy it is. It's almost like a very fine linen, like you see tablecloths. Now look at this one. This one is so heavy. Can you see how fine it is? It's really fine. It's heavy. It fell in my cart. Gina, welcome, baby girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I was looking around. I gave away four. I was going to take the shoes to my mom's house for my granddaughter to give away, but it's like don't bring any more clutter to mommy's house for them to get rid of. So I figured I don't know how many elders are wearing heels. Some of them are, or they have family members or nurses or people that take care of them. So I was cleaning out bookcases, moving some things around. And guess what I saw? I found you guys who have channels, those of you who are monetized, do your paperwork. Some of you have started LLCs. You know, it's not just a matter of doing the paperwork and saying, I have an LLC. You have to get a tax ID number. Everybody pays taxes, and baby, they're going to find you. They're going to find you one way or another. You pay the taxes under your name, your social security number, but you do pay them. The good thing about YouTube, they take half of your money anyway before you even get it. So you don't have to worry about paying taxes to them, but you may be in an income bracket or have write-offs where you can get some of that money back. Miss Shirley, OG Gardener, hey sis, what is up? I know you're out there in that garden, but when I was looking at different things, I was looking in another notebook. I like keeping things in notebooks, and this was a tax ID number I got in 2004 when I was consulting, and it was for Pankey and Associates, and it was registered with, I guess I was banking at Fleet Bank then, but I still had my tax ID number on the outside of an envelope. Then this fell on the floor. I used to have a house in New Haven, Connecticut, up the street. Yankee Sisters saw it, and I had Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs. Well, I did all my paperwork. I did all my paperwork, and this was my DBA for the town of New Haven, Connecticut. And it was just a blank form that I hand wrote for my dogs. And it did have my address, my P.O. box, because you always have to have that. And I drove by that house. Why did I have that house? Oops, his phone. Gina saying, Gina. Oh, the deer ate all your okra? Oh, Miss Shirley, I could have put that in our oxtail or chicken gumbo or something. You guys, I have a small freezer back there. I try not to buy a lot, but I have to tape my freezer shut with tape. I'm talking to you while I'm looking at this weather out there. I hate to plug the machine in and it's lightning and thundering like it's crazy out. So, what I found, what I was getting out is this notebook. Of course, why is it purple? But I'm still going to show you guys stay to the end, because what I'm going to show you is how I used this one fabric, and I'm making 3 different bags that look differently. Oh, the deer like hosta too. Maybe give them a decoy, Miss Shirley. And that okra, when I was in North Carolina, that okra grew tall. It was like more than 6 feet tall. I had to get a ladder and go get it. I don't grow okra here because I have a community garden, and it is right next to a field with deer in it. But the reason I don't is because it is a very shady garden. So what is it good for? It's good for growing things like all kinds of herbs, like you name it, you can grow it, especially the ones that like afternoon shade. I have parsley, I have oregano, I have, let's see, the slugs. Oh my gosh, I had a slug. Her slugs are. I had to do some research because I was getting ready to sit on a bench outside to rest before I went down all these steps to the community garden, and something moved. The something that moved was about this big, and it was round and brown. I thought maybe it was some kind of a snake. So I bent to look at it, and it started moving. Then I saw that little slime in back of it. So I jumped up and I reached down rather, And I got my camera out. Why? Because Maria Graham gave me a small bag that I keep in the garden. Yes, I'm biased. I have yours. But that pretty African fabric, I don't want to get dirty in my sweat out there. So I don't take that out. The rain washed all your pepper spray and they ate them. It just left a nice little taste. A nice little taste. So, oh, what was I telling you guys? I have so many things to tell you. Oh, about getting the books down. So, I got this purple book down, and this is one of the books that I use when I'm teaching arts and crafts, and I have different things in it. I guess this was something I was working on a drawing. Some of you who have been here know that I paint, I draw, whatever. Ruby Spot, thank you, and welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I had several copies of this photo. Don't I look like her, sort of, kind of? Except she's prettier. But she was younger. She was 17 years old then, or 19. This is my mother when she was young, when she first got married. And Daddy had this photograph taken of her. And the photograph, he later had doctored up. And that little flower on her chest, they painted that on. The pearls, they painted the pearls on as well, and the pearl earrings. One of the things I did when I got older, I bought my mother the nicest set of real pearls because girls that like pearls should have them. And I wanted my mother to have it because I always looked at this picture growing up, and this is actually blown up. Her picture was smaller, I think. I had this blown up so that I could paint it. But I wanted to show you guys a couple things that if you stick with me, type exclamation mark GQUAT to drop your link if you're a content creator, and you can drop your content, your channel. What I want you to see is something else. This is a project. I'm going to scan it in. And those of you, how many of you would like to have, like you see, a coat of arms? Like you used to see the kings and the queens in the castle, and outside the castle would be this coat of arms, and they'd have this gold signet ring, and they would dip it in wax and make an official document, and it wasn't official if it didn't have the king's seal on it. Well, this is a blank coat of arms, and I'm going to make it for each of you who would like to make a coat of arms, if nothing, just for fun. Just for fun. How many of you, put a one in the chat, would like to have a coat of arms? And no, you don't have to screenshot it because I'm going to scan it in, and anybody who wants it can print it out, and we'll do it as a group project. Janet said she would like to. So let me show you one I hand drew. I want to say 25 years ago. I actually had a ring made, a gold ring made for my son, and it was flat and it was gold. It was a signet ring, and it was heavy. I think I think it was like 15 or 30 grams of gold. I had my jeweler make it. But do you see this? This is the Pankey family coat of arms that I pretended. And what this is, of course, a cross. And all the little crosses around it, because there were six children and my parents, so that was the coat of arms. I made a smiley face in there and a star just because the stars come up every night. I mean, yeah, every night, and the sun because the sun comes up every morning. And then I put Joseph and Clara in a little heart because those are my parents' name, and then the kids in a little chain. Hey, Karen's little garden. Thank you for coming and welcome, and thank you for being a friends and family club member. Those of you with their name in the green contribute to the channel every month. At least I think it's $1.99, and it helps the channel grow and helps me create content. Like when I go and have copies made, I will be having copies made of this, and I also have copies of course, I'm dropping things. It wouldn't be alive if I didn't drop something, you guys. But I have so many things to show you and tell you. When I started making binder covers, I actually bought a pattern. This one says it was $7.99 years ago. Then I made my own pattern. I made my own pattern and I make them and I put pen holders on it and I put place markers for your books. I'm going to show you something. This is the sort of pattern that I use, that I will be using on my mother's quilt. It's called a turning 20, and it's basically some basic blocks that you put together, and you end up making 16 to 18-inch blocks. So 3 different squares that you cut out and you put together. So I already have enough cut for mommy's quilt. What I wanted to show you, because why am I showing you this? Because these are some simple quilts that you make, and then I made my own pattern for one called, and it's called an 8 block. Oh, turning 8. So instead of turning 20, I adapted this pattern to turning 8, and that's actually what that pink quilt that I made for Dolores, the top that I'm making, it's not finished. Another pattern I want to show you, and I will scan this in so that you guys can print it out. My favorite pattern to start when you're making quilts and you want to do patchwork, piecework, is actually a half square triangle. Why? And you can make them as big as you want. You can buy pre-cuts. You can buy 10-inch blocks that are already cut. You can buy them from multiple sources, or you can cut your own. I like to cut my own. Why? Because I like fabric that nobody has. Even if I only buy a yard of it, 2 yards of it, that lighter blue called brush strokes that you saw that I didn't know, I'll either use it for backing, or if I have enough a piece backing. I know that I can tell by looking at it, it's not enough for a quilt. But a half square triangle, when you're designing anything, especially in quilting, can you guys see how dark the room is getting? I have on lights, so the how you make the pattern pop and stand out is by contrasting a darker color with a light color. So therefore, you take 2 pieces of fabric, you put them right sides together, and you draw a diagonal on the fabric, and then you sew on one side, sew on the other side, cut it down the middle, open it up, and you have 2 squares, one with a dark side, one with a lighter side. If you choose not to have a dark side, you can use anything, any fabric you have. And Dolores says we will be introducing more emojis soon, along with special features. I'm uploading. I have all years and years of old photographs, especially of plants and flowers. I like them a lot. But this is what I want to show you, you guys. These are half square triangles, and these are the multiple ways you can take the same triangles and sew them to make all these different patterns from that one half square triangle. I made my mother a quilt like that. Remember that cafe au lait, the brown and white one? It was made out of this. I made my brother a Marine Corps quilt with the pinwheels. I like the pinwheels a lot. I have one that I'm going to make with different African fabrics with this one, and you can see the different names. the different names, or you can Google it: chevron, pinwheel, streak of lightning. That's when it looks like a zigzag. Fields and flowers, where it looks like stripes. Chimneys and cornerstones. Barn raising. Sunshine and shadows. A straight setting where you can see each of the half square triangles, a dark side and a light side, and they're different colors on the light side. So I'm putting this up, but I'm showing you this notebook because when I teach classes, this was one of my beginning notebooks. I was going to take this to the printer. I had a meeting. I had met somebody at Staples this morning at 8:30 a.m. These are some of the bags that I made. I actually bought these patterns, but these are called Pockets of Plenty. And these totes, this is a class I will be doing on Zoom because it's complicated. It has so many parts, so that I can make copies, send you guys copies of this, or show you where to buy them. I mean, because they are copyrighted patterns. This is another one, a hobo bag. I make my own hobo bag. I have over the years made my own pattern. Oh, you guys, remember that bag that I made with the leather on it? And I actually what did I put? I put clothesline rope on the inside. It was leather with the African fabrics. This was the actual pattern that I used. And I braided the handle. I'm just showing you some. Why am I showing you? Because these are beginning projects. For those of you who crochet or knit, here's something to keep you warm in the cold climates. Mike's Chaotic Gardening. My granddaughter Sharita crochets really fast, and she made a lot of these neck warmers for some of the teachers at her school. Here's like a little preemie cap that is knitted. I make knitted caps and crocheted caps, and I take them to the NICU unit. I'm close to Yale University Hospital here, and because I have a lot of eye issues, I see a lot of eye specialists at Yale. And one of the things, the premature babies, they end up having eye issues, and they need special care. So I give them to some of my eye specialists that work with these babies. Another thing I wanted to show you, some people are not willing or able to knit, crochet, draw, paint rocks, or do anything. I make photocopies of adult coloring books. Also, for those of you who want to learn how to paint, if you buy coloring books, they have all the lines taken out. Or you can go to Crayola.com. Hi, Katie, Greenland Quilter. We are today working on gifts, things that you can make for others. I have an art show coming up in 3 weeks, and I will be showing them a bag that I made with the same piece of fabric, but I'm making it look 3 different ways. You guys, welcome Greenland, Katie, and she had me as a guest on her podcast on Saturday. If you go to her channel, you can pull it up and you can see the interview. So going back to where we were, this is a drawing I made where people could trace it. There were other things in here to color for people that want to color. I have a mandala that actually, I'm glad you're here, Katie, because these were Zentango's mandalas, something very simple that people could color, trace. I could make copies of them, and they could color them. And I use scrap paper when I'm making patterns. Turtles have a lot of significance in other cultures, many cultures, and I had that. So I had this in my packet for when I teach classes, And everybody doesn't have a sewing machine. Everybody doesn't color. I actually have a set of watercolors. I don't use out my pass out my markers because they can be pricey. But I do have colored pencils that I take when I give classes in person, and I have the hand sharpeners. This is the final thing I wanted to show you in this notebook, and this is probably as old as I am. Oh my gosh. No, it's not as old as I am, but it was copyrighted in 1974, and it is a beginning sewing book. And these are some of the things I teach when I teach sewing. And some of the things are straight lines. I'll make a copy of how to sew on straight lines. I want to lick my fingers. The equipment needed. This is the equipment that you use. I can make a copy of it for you guys, and it tells you what to get for any sewing project, not just quilting. And then it tells you the first exercise is making straight lines, learning how to sew. Well, first you have to learn how to thread your sewing machine, those of you. So, you love the Zentangles and mandalas. I have several books on mandalas and Zentangles, Janet, and I will be using those. You got you a book on how to make them. Yes, Auntie Joanne has a book in one of her bathrooms, and she sits and she sketches. She has big bathrooms, and she works on them. And they have different patterns to work on once a day. Zentangle, a Greenland Katie, is a mandala, but somebody decided to call it something different. Mandalas are patterns, geometric patterns, that have been in existence for thousands, maybe millions of years. So, going back to learning how to sew, these are the straight lines. And those of you who want to learn how to sew, these are some of the things that you can practice on. Square corners, how to do the corners. You always stop with them down. Square corners, final sheets. And this is a book I've been teaching out of, and they have questions and answers, curved lines. For those of you, several people have asked me about learning how to sew, how to make circles. When you get into complicated quilting, you will be doing circles. You remember the straight line. This is the similar book from Home Economics. You learn about the grain of the fabric and why to sew them. And these are the basic things. How to thread a needle and other things. I won't go through all of them, but this is a very basic book, a beginner's sewing book by NASCO. So I've had this since the beginning of time. Mind you, my children, this is when the era that they were born. So going back to today's, and my mother's favorite thing to crochet is a rose in bloom. And she asked me where the pattern was. It's in this book of beginning things. This is not a beginning thing to crochet, but what I'm going to do, I have it somewhere. I'm going to take it, and it's like granny squares, but in the center of each is a crocheted rose. And the crocheted rose is beautiful. It's a tricolored thing. I can go get one later if you want. I'll do it another time. And my mother makes these in different colors. So the rose is one color, the leaves is one color, and the background is another color. If you want to see it, put a 1 in the chat. I can go grab one real quick. I mean, a quilt, that is. not a quilt, anyway, an Afghan. That's what they call it when it's crocheted, an Afghan. Now, this is a copy of another Zentangle. So, what I'm doing, Greenland Katie, is showing different things that they could make or sell if they were going to an art fair. This is the little pattern that I make when I crochet dishcloths. It's not the regular pattern. So this morning I had a meeting at 8:30 in front of Staples. Auntie Joanne says those Afghans are so beautiful and warm. So those of you put a 1 in, you want me to see it? Okay, let me put a little commercial on while I grab it real quick, while I go grab the Afghan. I do have commercials. It takes me a minute. So this is a rose in bloom. And oh, why don't I do this? I don't have to work my rotator cuff so much. So how beautiful is this? Is this gorgeous? I know Mike likes purple. So many people like purple. My mother makes them in all different colors. And I just actually one of the crocheters, I think it was Sifting Some Soil, FR Humphrey. They go live crocheting late on Sundays and Mondays. One of them sent me some new crochet hooks, a set. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, my sisters. Miss Shirley crochets. And so, if anybody wants to learn how to do the rose and bloom, of course, I would never give out a copyrighted pattern, right? So email me and I'll tell you how to get the pattern to crochet that. So what you do is you crochet the centers, right? Then you put the leaves on it. Then you put the outside. I I also have a giant, queen size one and a beautiful with beautiful raspberry colored roses. Raspberry colored roses. Janet's laughing. She heard me about the things one would never do. I was telling somebody on the phone the other day, I have a poem that I memorized years ago when I was a little on the naughty side. I'm a little better now. I'm in transit. And it said, some will, some won't. Some do, some don't. I might. I might. And that's any given thing. So we're going to get back and we're going to get to the topic of today. I'm still looking at the lightning and thunder and I don't want to turn the machine on while it's doing that. But this is one of the bags. Pull the safety pin out. One of the bags that I made for the art and craft fair. It's actually an art fair, but depending on the level of your art, I know that everybody's not going to buy. Everybody's not interested in buying one of these fancy quilts or some of the tops above there. And it's not something that you would take to a fair, like I said, with the corn dogs and the other things that people are eating. So this bag is made of pre quilted fabric, and it's double sided. It's double sided, and I just made up a pattern. I just made it up. There is a pocket on the inside. I know a lot of you are liking pink. There are flowers. It was a little too flowery for me, so I put them on the inside. I bought a pre-made strapping. It's called webbing, and I put it on there. So there's a pocket on the outside. If you want to put it over your shoulder, you can put it over. It's a little tight for us thick girls, but you can do whatever you want with it. Thank you, Miss Shirley says it's gorgeous. And it's a quick thing that you can make. It's squared on the bottom, and you, let me show you. And on my little lappy, I ironed it so you can fold it. You're traveling, you always come back with more than you left. You just put your bag in and fold it up, and away you go. But the same bag, the same piece of fabric, I'm making it. I don't know. I'm looking at the weather. I am looking at the weather, and I don't know if I'll get to actually sew it in front of you, but I want to show you two, the three other ways. And those of you who sew, Gina, hey Gina. So I want to show you that bag has the pink straps for those are the pink girls that are in their pink worlds, or other. A lot of people like pink. Maria Graham likes pink too. So this one is actually pinned, and I wanted to show you how it's made. It's just a straight piece of fabric, and I cut it because I knew I had enough fabric to make 3 bags. Let me pull you down so you can see again. And I have this pink batik on the inside and the outside. So that's what's different about this bag. And this bag will have the black webbing. The black webbing. But I want you to see how I attach the handles for those of you who want to make your own bags. You can have an old quilt. You could have something that you built. Almost homesteading with Janet. I still have an Afghan my aunt gave me when I was like 5. Yeah, those things never wear out. You guys need to go to Auntie Joanne's house. Auntie Joanne has years of it. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Sissy Joanne Stevens, our baby sister Della threw some shade on Joanne. We were talking about quilts, and I said, I'm not making any more big ones, the king size, whatever. So my baby sister Della said, well, how many quilts did you make, Joanne? And I'm like, hey, Miss Ellen, learning how to quilt. And so I said, I don't know how many Auntie Joanne has. I used to live with Auntie Joanne and Roscoe at times. And I go visit. I homestead. I do, what do you call it, squatting. I go to her house, their house, and stay. what I want to show you about this bag, and then she said, well, how many quilts does mommy have? So mommy can have as many as she wants. Mommy will get more quilts. She won't get this one for that I'm working on for her birthday, September 1st, but she'll have it by Christmas. You guys will watch me watching on it. That was so shady of her. Joanne Stevens says, well, that's because my brother Joe finally picked up the one I made him. I worked on his quilt for 2 years when I was legally blind, you guys. And it costs money to make quilts. It takes about his quilt took about $200 to $300 in fabric. It took 21 yards of fabric, 21 yards, plus the batting, plus the thread. Then I sent it to one of my long armors. I use one in Tennessee or North Carolina. I sent it there. They charged $300 for the quilting, then sent it back, and I put the binding on it. That doesn't even account for my time. So, yeah, it takes a lot to make a quilt. So, what I want to show you about making bags, because I know a lot of you sew. So, what I did, I just folded the top of the fabric down maybe a third of an inch, and I tucked it under and I ironed it. But here's the trick. Unbiased LLC, Maria Graham. You see what I did? I marked the middle. I always mark the middle with a pin. I also put white chalk on it. You see that chalk line? This is a chalk line. So I turned it over. I put the pin there. Why did I put the chalk line? Because I measure 3 inches from the middle to put my straps. And then when I get to the 3 inches, I center the strap, or you can use the edges. I saw Passionately Intrigued Art making a bag, and she asked about that. Then this one has a pocket inside with the batik. So this one will look exactly like the one that you just saw, except it will have a pink batik outside. And let me show you one last trick about making these bags. So, to save time, what you do is when you turn it under, I like to turn it under 1.5 inches. I'll answer your question 1 second, Janet, about the diamonds. And you turn it under. I stick the webbing underneath so that when I sew the little hem close to here, see, this one is already sewn. It's already tucked in. It's tucked under. You see this? It's tucked under. So when I sewed across here, that already held it down. It's already sewn. I sew 4 or 5 times across there. When I go across the top to hold it down, it's already on there. And then you don't have to put a center tie. I like a center tie on my bags. So I just put a little one, just enough to hold it where it doesn't flop open, or you got it on the car seat and some idiot in front of you does something and you have to slam on brakes and all your stuff rolls out of it, or you're just walking through the fair or the swap meet. You don't have it just sitting gapped open. I just don't like my bags gapped open. Almost Quilting with Janet asked me about the little squares. Well, the secret, Janet, to this is you buy them. You buy them like that. It's called double quilted fabric. This is called double quilted fabric. Or you can take a ruler and chalk, and you can make your typical quilting sandwich and draw all the parallel lines across there and do it that way. There's also an attachment that you can get to put on your walking foot or another foot. They have different attachments, and you put that on the line that you've drawn, and then you sew along this little bar that sticks out. There are different bars. I can show you guys how to do that. How to do that. But this, you wait till it's on sale at one of the big sewing stores and you buy it, or you buy it online. Me, I like to finish mine. I finally broke down after, I want to say, 60 years of sewing, bought new zigzag shears. I have the zigzag shears from when I started sewing 70 years ago. My parents bought me. I like to do the zigzag scissors. Yes, there are other words, but everybody now calls them zigzag scissors. But what I like to do, because as you see the quilting on here, like you see there, the quilting on the diagonal, it's not that close. So I don't want it to ravel on the edges. So if you have a straight sewing machine, you can just sew a straight line across here to hold it down. Or if you have a zigzag machine, I did it with white thread so I could show you guys. These are little things that you can do extra. These are the little things you can do extra to keep it from raveling, or you can use your pinking shears called zigzag shears. So this bag will be a little different. So that's different from the one that's in all pink. I'm looking at it the time because I still have a mail haul to show you guys. So quickly, this one is totally different. And how do I get my corners? How do I get my bags to lie straight? I cut a 2.5 inch corner out on the sides. And then I sew pinking shears are the zigzag ones. Yes, Janet. And you can get them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I was surprised. They're cheaper than they used to be back in my day. You can get them, I want to say, for $10. You can get a good pair, and they're sharp, sharp, sharp. So you see in the bottom of this one, actually, I'll show you on the inside. So you see the zigzag and the pinking shears. Hey, Francesca, thank you for coming and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you can sew these bags by hand or by machine, you guys. So this one, again, I see a pin in here. Oh, because it's holding this something to the back. Oh, I know why. Because this one will have super long straps. I know who's getting this bag. It's someone that ordered a bag, somebody that's in the chat. Greenland Katie is speaking to Francesca and others. I know who's getting this one, and she likes bags. She's waiting for a big one, but it'll probably be ready for Christmas. And what's different about this bag is this bag, I handmade the straps. Do you see these big heavy straps? This one will last forever, forever. The webbing will last almost forever. This will last forever, forever. And what I do to make straps, I take a 5-inch strip of whatever fabric I'm using. If it's just regular fabric, I'll put some batting inside. This already has batting. I folded it in half and then fold the ends in. And I made this strap. I could have sewed it in black on the edges, but I put it in white so that I could show you guys how to make your own straps. Those I used webbing. This one, I'm also going to turn it in and put pink flashing, put pink sashing on the inside. So that is how you make 3 different bags with the same fabric. So say I wanted to give, I have 2 sisters. I no that the math doesn't work. I wouldn't give, I'd say three nieces. Funny story. One of my sister friends lives in my building, lives upstairs, and another friend who's a master gardener. So I went upstairs to visit them the other day, and one of them, the one with the white mud cloth that's waiting for the borders on there, she goes, "Oh, Pankey doesn't make bags for anybody except her family." I said, "That's not true. That's not true. I make commission bags all the time. Francesca would love to go shopping with me. You find the most fun fabrics." You know what's fun, Francesca, is when I go with my sister Joanne, and Uncle Roscoe even likes to go with us. He'll go get a seat and sit down while we're touching things. You go in these secondhand stores, you find quilts that people have made by hand, by machine, and their families just gave them away. Just gave them away. And then the reassignment store, they just put them out there. Auntie Joanne got a handmade hand piece quilt when I was out there for my birth anniversary month for $4. People were stopping us coming out the store, seeing things coming out of our bags that we bought. And I was just buying it because it was there. It was because it was there. And sometimes half-made quilts that someone didn't finish. Exactly correct. And then you can cut them up and do whatever you want. You can make a smaller quilt. You can make a personalized quilt. You can make these bags. You can make table runners. You can make just about anything. Anything. So now, who would like to see my mail haul before we leave? Because I will be opening up a new set of things that I will be doing. It will be new to me, and one of the things that I have never done, but I've owned. Everyone wanted that quilt, Auntie Joanne says. It was gorgeous. The first thing she did was go home and wash it. So I went to the post office box today, over by where my old house was. And I want to show you this because I opened the box, but not all the way. It's from Crafty Leo, my niece daughter. And these almost made me tear up. I have let's show you my face in case I start crying. So I have a Cricut 2 still in the box. When I moved in here 6 years ago, I said, well, I'm retiring. I'm going to buy everything that I want to last me for the next 25 years so that, oh, Crafty Leo is in here. You must have been up them bushes, my baby girl. And I'm going to come up with her. I promised her that if she sent me some vinyl, that I would come up with her with Unbiased sent me some vinyl. And I was like, I have vinyl, but if I put my place is small and I have to multitask, when I put my sewing machines away, I'm going to take my Cricut out and I'm going to be cricketing up some things for about a month. I have a brand new Cricut. I have software. I have other software that I bought. I have a small heat press that I bought, but I didn't have any vinyl, you guys, and I didn't want cheap vinyl. Crafty Leo hooked me up, her and Unbiased, and I had a little bit of vinyl I bought on sale when I bought the machine. But what Crafty Leo also gave me, so she gave me all this vinyl in the box. I won't take it all out or try to make anybody jealous. So I have this box with vinyl in it and a note. So I also, because I had planned on making merch to sell. I have aprons that I want to put my logo on. Where is my logo? I have the logo with the hands that says GQUATTRADITIONZS. And I'm going to put that. Some of them have the quilt behind it. But look, Auntie Ellen, I didn't open it. See my logo, you guys? Thank you. and it's tightened up. Now see, that's one of the things I want to show you. If you need a consultant, that's one of the things that Dolores had helped me with. I already had this logo, and I had it as a crescent on a t-shirt, but it took up so much space, so she condensed it for me and mushed it down. You see Unbiased doing it on their channel. You see Crafty Leo doing it. So here's the card she sent me. She says, thank you to me, thank you to you. Hi, Auntie Ellen. I hope you love, she writes so fancy, your leather. Leather. I'm giving you, guess what she made for me that I begged her for, because she has all these fancy laser machines that cut leather and everything. Again, the topic of this show is local art fair in 3 weeks. Create and chat. Any of these things I'm showing you today, I will or may have on the table at the fair, along with the neck pillows that I've been working on, the key fobs, some fabric postcards, some painted rocks. Why? Just because it's fun. You're not the handwriting. Oh, you fancy. You fancy. I didn't finish reading. Oh, being patient with me. Enjoy the vinyl and other supplies she included. And her real name. I know her whole government name. But look what else is in this box, you guys. I was so surprised. I didn't take my cart bumping around up there. I had this box. Oh, and another package, that light blue fabric. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was heavy. So I will show you the leather labels in a minute, because she made them to go. You know how you buy Levi jeans, the good jeans, and they have the leather patch on the back? Well, that's fake leather. This is real leather. And she put "Be good to yourself," but she didn't autograph it on the inside for me. So I'm going to do it. It says to and from and the date. And I will put the date that I received it, which was today. And look at this, you guys. This is so touching. Embrace every challenge. Once you stop rushing through life, you'd be amazed at how much more life you have time for. You know, those of you who don't have time for art, crafts, go back to that 15 minutes a day that I was telling you about. The earth has its music. Take time to listen. Daddy used to ask me one day, he came to, at the end, I'm going to show you these amazing leather labels, so hold on, you guys. Daddy looked at me. I had on my fancy Italian suit and my pearls, and I was going out past these pink calla lilies and all these rose bushes. Auntie Joanne can tell you, one house, I think I had my dad in the gardener plant 100 rose bushes in one day at one place. I just love flowers. But here I go running out with my suit, my walk along shoes, and my heels in my bag, my pearls, and this house that I worked so hard for, with like that, remember out in Rialto, that big fireplace. And Daddy looked at me. He goes, Pen, do you ever take time to smell the flowers? Well, I grew them, Daddy. I bought them. I take care of them. I water them. I feed them. I wasn't taking time to smell my beautiful flowers. I do now. Guess what? I don't even own this property. I have a community garden, but some of the flowers that I show you, I take the time to enjoy them on my walk on the property. I pay rent. And it's in the community part of it. So I read that page. This is just a small book. I want to show you guys. Feed your soul. Forever is composed of nows. Take time to enjoy the minute. Those of you who are sitting here watching and listening, this is for you. This is for you, because we don't take time to enjoy the moment. When I watch you guys, your channels on TV, I just sit and enjoy what you're saying, you're cooking, you're doing stuff. Crafty Leo, I'm going to come up and cook with you soon. I'm going to come up now and do some cricketing with you. This is slow down. Just breathe. Just breathe. Slow down and take the time to do something you love. Isn't that what Auntie Ellen says every week? Do what you love and love what you do. I should have written this book because it has all the things I believe in. It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something. I love this book. It's giving me goosebumps. Be good to yourself. I used to have a sister in law, and she was from British Guyana. And she would call me up sometimes out of the clear blue, and she'd say, hello. She had a British accent. And she would say, yes, ma'am, you'll cricket and I'll silhouette. Yes. Miss Shirley says she smells her roses every day. I'll smell anybody's roses because that's how I am. And I want to show you, I'll show you guys something. This is so be good to yourself. If you won't be good to yourself, why should anybody else? Never let anyone take your power. And I love this book is in purple. Sometimes you need to disconnect from the world outside and just spend time with yourself. I do that. I do that. I loved when we had the shutdown, you guys, and nobody could go out. The stores were closed. I just loved it. I was in here. I was taking a bath in my art. The only person that came in was my helper to help do some cleaning or some other stuff, go to the post office, go to the store for me and stuff, because I was really staying in then. I was really staying in then. That lockdown was so peaceful. I loved it. It was like you tie yourself up in handcuffs or something and stay in the house. So, relax, recharge, repeat. You guys, you have to do this. I see some of you so stressed out putting out content day after day after day after day. Last Saturday, I didn't feel well. I had a little medical issue. So I took care of myself. I took the time to take care of myself. And thank you, all of those who sent me little messages hoping that I feel better. Yes, Janet, I actually have several videos on cooking. I'm going to go back and break up playlists and break up the cooking. But there was a time that I wasn't able to stand for a long time. I see people sitting and cooking now. I have everything, and I have a nice setup, a nice clean kitchen, nice clean stove. So I will all do that. Francesca has a channel when she prays, her and Yankee Sister. We all need to rest and recharge and pray, do affirmations for whatever you believe in. This is nature itself is the best physician. You guys grow something, eat what you grow. I have so many jars of organic everything that I grew. And my little shady boots garden doesn't grow everything, but it does grow things that love shade. Stay centered on what truly matters. You know, bye, Felicia. The heck with the rest. Nope, I didn't say any bad words. Mother, I didn't say any bad words. I didn't even sneak the animal with a jack in it. Take rest. I do that sometimes. I turn my phone off. My phone is off now. Why? Because I don't want it to ring and knock me offline talking to you guys. It's okay to sometimes be alone and just be with your thoughts. Sometimes people ask me, well, do you listen to read aloud? And I'm like, some of those books are not smarter than me. Some of those books have not lived as long as I have. Some of those books have not seen what I've seen. I need to organize my thoughts because I have several books that I'm in the process of writing. You are good enough. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, yes, yes. And you are enough. So there's a couple more pages. Take time to rest and recharge. It's hard to be your best when you're running on empty. Ain't that the blessed truth? Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Francesca says, Amen. 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 Yes, Mother, I know I can't sing, but I do whatever I want because I'm grown, except to with you. Life is too short. Focus on what matters most. You know what? I'm going to see my mother in the morning, and she's going to tell me what I said today and what was fresh. When I was talking fast, she used to, when I'm the oldest of six, so I was always in charge of when we go someplace. Penny, you go up there and speak for the family. My family put everything into me. That's why I'm so spoiled. My sisters and brothers, I was the oldest. They were supposed to do, when mommy and daddy weren't home, I was the boss. I was in charge. They put everything into me and they made me who I am. Know your limits. Know your limits. Daddy used to say, Pen, I'd call him up sometimes in tears, crying, Daddy, Daddy, I'm a daddy's girl, not a mommy's girl. I'm a daddy's girl. And he would say, You'll stop when you get enough. You'll stop. Or he'd just say, Pen, don't you know when you have enough? My family calls me Penny, and Pen was daddy's word for me. If you don't love yourself, no one else will. Didn't I say that? Why should anybody else love you if you don't love yourself? Auntie Joanne has a saying. You know what she used to say? You teach others how to treat you poorly. I'll repeat that. You teach others how to treat you poorly because what you don't allow, they can't do. Walk away. If you're being abused, if something is wrong, get help. There's somebody somewhere that can help you. And there's a power out there that will stop anybody, anything, anytime. There's powers. Take time to recharge. You guys, I recharge when I'm with you. When I'm with you. The present is all we have. You know, my mom used to say, tomorrow never comes, meaning that you need to do what you have to do and to stay in the present. My parents did not go to college. They sent the six of us to college. That's what they did. And they always said, do your best, try your best. When Auntie Joanne called me today and she said she was so touched when ARD came up and was talking about his father's quilt on Thursday and the love that I put into it. I don't do what I do on here when I talk to you guys. I treat you like you were really at my house. If you were in my house, I have so much food ready, cooked. I go bring it and drop it on people's doors, put it on tables. I don't know how to cook a little bit, and I try. And it's not worth the time to cook a little bit. So I share with others. Find what matters most to you in this life and focus on those. Focus on those. Just a minute, you guys. I can't wait to show you those leather tags. Nobody has them. I don't care if you buy those $200 jeans from Neiman Marcus, from Lord and Taylor, from Thank the Lord. You got those red bottoms on, whatever. They're no better than wait until you see what Crafty Leo made me. Love yourself more. It's funny. Sometimes I tell the kids something, I love you. Or sometimes I talk to you guys and say, I love you. And they'll say to me, I love you more. I think that's so sweet. Don't lose touch with who you are. Be true to yourself. Be true to thyself. Oh, I love this one. Crafty Leo, this is the best book. Time flies, even when you're wasting it. Even when you're wasting it. I come in and before I go live, I come in, I set up the computer, I make sure everything is charged, I go do stuff. Then I'll turn around and then sometimes Dolores will pop up, and she goes in the back, and she's one of the managing moderators. Why? Because she can see better than I can. She's faster than I can. She'll see me. She says, "You know, I told you this little silver part that's coming in my hair when it's coming in." And she says, when she sees me look down and look for something, she she pops it in. And I want to show you something else. I have a video I want to show you guys. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Slow the heck down. Life is all about balance. Sometimes it's okay to just kick back and do nothing. I have a problem with that. I don't know how to do nothing. I sit on my bed and I'll go in there and eat, take a tray, watch videos because it's a 55-inch TV back there. I'll take my vitamins at night out because I have to eat them with food. And I'll reach across the bed to my nightstand where I have a bottle of water. And I am so knocked out. I fall asleep. All the vitamins, the fish oil is melted in my hand. I know sometimes it's almost homesteading with Janet will text me. She knows I'll read it between naps. I live in naps, and I'll do the same for her. And I'll wake up, all my vitamins are melted in my hand. Make every day memorable. Make every day memorable. GT Jr. grows in Alaska. I've been watching you. Show love always. I hope that's what I do. I hope that you guys feel the love that I have. I could be anywhere. I could be doing anything. I like this now. And this is the hour to 2 hours. I set aside 2 hours. I said I would go from 4 to 6 on Thursdays and 6 to 8 or vice versa, Saturdays and Thursdays. But I didn't have the stamina after my surgery to do that. I could barely make it to an hour or keep my leg down. You do feel the love. I'm glad because it's genuine. It's from my heart. It's from my heart and soul. And I could be a fool, y'all. Here, yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard. I can be a fool up in here. Up in here. So now I'm going to show you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have a bag of leather labels. Original by Pankey with my 3 purple hearts. You know, Unbiased LLC made me some in denim. I'm saving them for special things that items that I make from scratch for my denim labels. And Crafty Leo asked me how I wanted these. I wanted the same thing, and the leather and that heavy duty machine that I have, that heavy duty Sanger that I just bought, it will sew through this. So this will go on my big girl bags, my special bags, and you can smell the leather. They're already pre-cut, everything. Now, you guys, I want to show you the grand finale. Hold on, and I want to show you a video of different bags and things that you can make. For fairs or other things. Hold on just a second. Brand. Hold on. I'm coming. Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. Oh, I did it again. I dumped. So that was the end, you guys. So I just wanted to show you guys. Oh, do I have any of those? No. Does Auntie Joanne have several of those? Those two bags that said arrive safely, those were for Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe. When you know what's interesting about the camo, that was there's different camo for different geographic areas. That was a jungle camo from Africa that one of my friends from South Africa gave me a yard of it. Crafty Leo says, thank you for the show. Thank you. I enjoy showing you guys. I have a lot of small videos like that of stuff. You see me here talking. Yes, Francesca, that was my mommy and me at the end. That's me all cleaned up. Mommy is always fancy. Mommy is always dressed up. Mommy used to get up with 6 kids, and when she came out, she would have her lipstick on in the morning and her eyelashes. They had this Maybelline. You guys make me remember the funniest stories. And it used to come in this red container and it was flat. And you mix water, put water on the brush, and you mix it around and you put it on. I don't know. You always have to open your mouth to do it. My sister Joanne is funny. She says when I done that was me, not Leo. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I won't get to sewing when you see these bags Thursday. They will be finished. And one of them is going to someone. Oh, Francesca says, like, where I get my pretty looks. When I was younger, I looked like mommy, but the older I get, the more I look like her. So thank you very much. Do any of you have any questions? Is there anything that you would like to see me make? Well, there's a message that I didn't send before that I just wanted you guys to see her work. Oh, and mommy always has her perfume on. She always wants to smell good. My mother has the nicest perfumes. She got one just, I believe it was after Mother's Day. She got one, whoever you believe in or whatever, that is just a local perfume that a movie star made, a famous person, and it was a gift to mommy. You're thinking about issuing a craft challenge one day. So just do it, Janet, or jump in one that's already existing. Already existing. Janet, I know that you can make that half square triangle. Nancy, our treasured home. I would love to see all of you. I have friends that make the half square triangles by hand. Some of those quilts I took to school when I was teaching an after school class, and I brought coloring books. And the students went to the window and they traced the outline of some of those little comic characters. And I told them if they made a block and they hand sewed the blocks together, I cut them out, that I would quilt them and add the batting and the backing. I gave them all the fabric. This was Janet, the one with the pinwheel. You can a half square triangle. You can make all 9 of those patterns. You can take 4 blocks to make each pattern. Each pattern. Let me get that for you. I throw stuff all over the place when I'm showing it to, but you can go back in the chat and look at it. And I have to like reorganize after this. Looks like a cyclone hit. You need some lap quilts made and one made for your daughter-in-law. That turning 8 is the one, Nancy, and it's made with fat quarters. Do I buy fat quarters? No. Crafty Leo said, nice things you sent to Nana. She did. Crafty Leo, you rock. Thank you. You sent me nice things too, unbiased. I just didn't show them in this video because I showed them on a previous one. You both. And if you do the turning, what was called a turning 20 square, it was the one, remember where I had Dolores's pink quilt back here? Those are the blocks that I use for Dolores's, except I use 8. I made my own pattern and put a couple of strips around them. They're called borders, and I made it big. I made it quick. I made it during the lives. I have the pink fabric for the backing for it, but I'm not going to show it to it for it's for Christmas. Somebody in the chat is getting this bag with the handmade handles, but I'm not telling who is getting it. Somebody asked for it. So you guys, do you have, oh, the feed sacks? Somebody who has animals promised me some feed sacks. They never sent them. I made those from the animals I had on my homestead. I had goats, I had chickens, I had dog. Oh, don't make it out of dog food though, because dog food is made with animals, and me personally, I didn't like the smell of the food that had animals. Thank you, Auntie. You're glad I like them, Crafty Leo. Thank you. Oh yeah, do you have a video how to make the feed sack bags? We can make the feed sack bags together. Once you learn how to make a basic bag, Janet, you can make the feed sack bag. The feed sack bags were made actually just like the bags that we made today. It's just a basic way. I just have to show you how to cut it. All I got to do, Janet, somebody got to send me some feed sack bags. Hint, hint, hint. And I promise I will make you one and send you one back. What is this commercial doing on my phone? I get so tired. So I thought I had you all in my background, and now I got political stuff. I don't do politics in public. I don't do I don't do religion in public other than to say that I am a Christian and I believe in God, but we don't get in discussions because I'm tolerant of those who don't. That's them. This is me. Just know my walk, and I do what I believe in. And I'm sad that some of you, when I go and I watch your videos, and I go back to see if I left a message. Guess what? Guess what? I'm unsubscribed. Yes, you're right. You're right. So it's beautiful, and the pink makes it look even better. I know y'all got me buying pink fabric, pink everything. So the feed sack bags, we'll work on that, Janet. Crafty Leo, I will be cooking with you. I will be cooking with whoever wants to cook. Whoever wants to cook. I will be cricketing while you and Abias are doing your silhouette. I do know that she's gotten real quiet, but I know she's doing other things. Greenland, Greenland, Katie, you're still here. Thank you. It divides people for many reasons, and people believe what they believe. I have one friend, we're like the odd couple, and she lives in my building. And I have to tell you about her. She's an older lady, and she has a different religion. She's Jewish. She eats certain food. I have other friends that are vegan. I do cook vegan, by the way. I mentioned to some of you, and I cook vegan foods for my vegan friends, and I don't use the same pots and spoons or mix them or contaminate them or intermingle them. I know the difference. I don't do it. And I just make a live. And you see her outside, and you see her, and people wouldn't even know we knew each other sitting on the same bench. And then one of the property managers said, she defends you like a villain. She'll go after you if you say something about Ellen. Like things that happen in the building, and sometimes my name comes up or whatever. You can't say anything about Auntie Ellen around this lady. Interfaith discussions make for the most amazing things. Yes, but we just won't do it here. We'll just live and let live. And by the way, those of you saw the video with the two, it was actually two snails and they got away. I was so busy taking pictures. Those things are fast. They are fast, 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 fast. But anyway, they were hooking up and I didn't know it. I thought it was just one. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today. I enjoyed each and every one of you. If you're new here and you like the content, please come back. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do the things you love the things you do. Ego amo Tote, American Sign Language. This is an I. My fingers are crooked. You're supposed to hold your hand towards the person you're looking at. I started learning Braille one time, but I stopped when I could see again. This is an L. This is a U. How you say I love you in American Sign Language is I love you. Okay, so hold on because now it's time to say goodbye to all my lovely friends.